Yeah, there were always questions about apprenticeship. Sure, that is an important point of the study because, yeah, the practical training is in the end the most important to become a practitioner. And as already said and demonstrated, we have a clinic here at Shenzhou where most of the apprenticeship hours can be done. And as Eugenie also said, you can go outside and see different practitioners. It is always good to follow different practitioners because then you see different styles of how people approach the treatment. There might be different backgrounds, different styles used. And that way you also learn how you might like to approach people and what would be your favorite way of doing it. So in the first place, the apprenticeship is about observing and learning from the therapist. In the Netherlands, it's not possible to have a really like a clinic where students do treatments themselves. That unfortunately due to legal reasons is not possible, but you will have enough possibilities to learn by observing, asking questions, and therefore it is important that you yourself evaluate and report on what you see. There is also an amount of cases that you have to deliver every year according to the hours, and you will also evaluate yeah, your apprenticeship hours with a therapist that you have done, because the therapist can, even though you're not practitioner doing yourself a treatment at that moment, you will get for sure, also because of your questions, advice on how you can develop best as a practitioner. So for the foundations of Chinese medicine, there is 64 hours in the study year that you have done as apprenticeship. In the first year, acupuncture, herbal medicine, or Tuina, it's 96 hours. And in the second year of acupuncture, herbal medicine, or Tuina, it's 120 hours. There is one special thing about herbal medicine of the first year. There you will mostly go to the pharmacy that you have also already seen, which we have here, and where you learn all these different herbs. You can see them, you can feel them, you will have to help, in our case, our staff, to really make the formulas and prepare them for the patients. So this is actually, I think, a general overview about the apprenticeship. Then there are a lot of questions about the study load. Eugenie also already said that it is a hard study. You're going to do an HBO, higher education study. It is part-time, but it is not only the lecture days that you have to study or be present, and it's not only the lecture days that will make the education. For the lecture days that are 20 per year for the TCM studies, it's 23 for the Western medicine year. You definitely have to be there for 80% of the time. For us, it is important that you participate actively in the courses. That's also why you have to be there really most of the time. And yeah, if you're sick or have any bigger problems, yeah, you have a margin of not being there. But next to these lecture days, you will have to have additional requirements, and there is a certain self-study load. We estimated it also by feedback from our students to 60 hours per month around. And definitely it's also depending on the study year and the study direction. And it includes that you get homework from the lecture days. It includes that you have some e-learning program that you have to fulfill, like quizzes about the lecture days or looking at videos, which we offer. Then a big part of our system is also that there are study groups. And one of it is for the literature and theory. Actually, Chinese medicine has a huge body of classic literature, of good literature, of current literature, and it helps you a lot of digging into these different kind of books, and which is impossible to do it in all the weekends. So you do it with your classmates, and there you can discuss the literature, you can present each other literature, so you can be very free of filling this in, and the aim is that you study theoretical background very clearly. Then we've already talked about apprenticeship, and another part of the practical training is interactive practice study groups, where you also work with each other on diagnosing each other, discussing cases, finding acupuncture points, which is a very important study to learn a body into, to learn, to get to know different bodies also, and to find acupuncture points. Then we have reflection and evaluation moments, and reports will have to be written about it. Academic activities in the last year means that you start to visit seminars or a congress, something like that, which gives you a bit a broader idea of what the future that you, what kind of future lies ahead, because the professional organizations also always asked you per year to permanently go on with your study, to be interested in the developments of Chinese medicine. And a very big and important thing of your definite study goal is to write a thesis, which will happen in the last year, which is based on all the knowledge of the last years, which gives you the possibility to search for a subject which interests you and in which you can do academic research, and which is actually should be something which really gives you the idea, okay, now I get a grip where you can combine all your knowledge and show that you have understood a big part of the Chinese medicine and things you've learned. So another question that we have is, sure, we are in a strange time, and you see we do this open day also. In online version we have taught recent months also mostly online. There was no other option for that. Now it seems that we are able to open actually the school in September again. But definitely we'll have to take the measurements of the social distancing, hygienic measurements. So we prepared classrooms which have enough space. We will arrange the class schedules in a way that we have not too many people around at the same time. And for instance, as much as possible, we already discussed for theoretical lectures that we can do them online, which means, for instance, for the foundations of Chinese medicine, we discussed that we want to have 6 weekends online and 4 weekends on location at Zhenzhou. The location part is still important, and it will become more important in the later years, and we really hope that the situation will change as such that we can again treat, touch, work together, because this is what is Chinese medicine. Meeting people, seeing, touching, smelling, listening, hearing, and as much as the situation is possible, we will provide what we can do, and we will always follow the advice of the government, and that's how we try to adjust to this quite special situation. So my colleague Rob is going to share another PowerPoint with you and answering some other questions, and see you later.
Thank you, Beate, for your explanation of a few frequently asked questions. I will now share my screen and start up the PowerPoint for some remaining questions. So, there were some questions also from prospective students about the entry requirements and in some cases exemptions. To be able to study at Sanger Open University, you would need in the Netherlands a HAVO diploma. Equivalent of HAVO diploma internationally would be a high school diploma that would give you access to college or university in your country. So that's the basic guideline we use for entrance in our school. About exemptions, some students have had training in TCM on other colleges, universities, educations abroad, and asked to enter in our study in, let's say, the first, or second, or third year. In order to be eligible for an exemption, we would need proof of your studies. So if you register for one of the years in our school, except for the first year, we would need copies of your diploma or transcript, and also a study program in order for us to be able to evaluate in which level of study you might enter. In some cases, this diploma needs to be translated, and the best way you could do that is to contact International Diploma Waardering. That's an organization in the Netherlands that evaluates diplomas from foreigners. They will not only translate it, but also evaluate it so that we can see on which level of education you graduated in your country. If you send these documents with your registration, then we will take care of a smooth registration in our university. After completing your study at Sanger University, of course, you get a diploma. I want to talk a little bit about the value of the diploma and the accreditations. First of all, in the Netherlands. Our diploma is accredited by the SNRO. The teacher Twan already talked about that. SNRO is an independent accreditation organization in the Netherlands who accreditates complementary medicine educations. If you have this accreditation, it means something. It means that you have a higher professional education. So you are trained to be able to practice on your own independently without needing referral from a general practitioner, for instance. So that means that you need a high level of training. You can compare it with bachelor, although we cannot grant you an official bachelor title. That has to do with the legislation in the Netherlands. Come back to that later. The study load of this study is 240 EC. That means 60 ECs on average per year. That means that the study load that Beate is talking about is indeed about 60 hours per month. This accreditation also means that we have highly qualified teachers, and we depend university level of the teachers that teach at Sanger University. Most of them have that. Further, this accreditation organization looks at how your program is structured. Is it built up in a logical way? And also they look at the examination. Is it a reliable examination? Does it give us insight in the level of education of the students? So after you have this diploma, you can start to work as a practitioner. And in the Netherlands, it would also mean that you can give VAT-free treatment. So BTW, you don't have to charge that. You're in that respect working under the same conditions as medical doctors and nurses and physiotherapists. Furthermore, this education is recognized by the Dutch professional TCM associations. The three most important ones I have mentioned here. It's the NVA, Nederlandse Vereniging voor Acupunctuur, ZONG, Nederlandse Vereniging voor Traditionele Geneeskunde, and TCM-NET, Traditional Chinese Medicine in the Netherlands. So if you become a member of these, one of these professional associations, the health care insurances will also refund a part of the consultation of your patients. That's on this slide. It's quite important also because this gives you an advantage of practitioners who don't have studied at SNRO accredited school and don't have this professional association registration. How is it internationally? This diploma, Sensual Diploma, is recognized by professional bodies for TCM in most European countries. You can look on a website of the European Traditional Chinese Medicine Association, which shows that in most countries of Europe, the climate for practicing acupuncture is good. It always depends on the country where you are going to practice. Depends on the legislation per country, what your possibilities are. But this diploma indeed gives you the best possibilities to practice in many countries all over Europe and even also outside of Europe. So thank you for your attention. We hope to have answered most frequently asked questions. Of course, there will be many more questions, and we will invite you to send us these questions by email, and we will do our utmost best to answer these questions within the coming days.